just... Okay.
Hello, everybody. Week 2.
Long day. Tired.
Rarely for him.
Welcome back to V-Time. Yes, we're calling it V-Time because we're not original.
V-Time.
And he's cheesy. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Guess how many episodes we're going to have? Yeah, you gotta be faster than that. Never. But just say we're a long-running shonen.
Oh, no.
Anyway, okay, so with us doing this on a weekly basis, pretty much it means a few things. We're just gonna be talking about anything that's happened in the Vanguard world regarding tournaments, deck leaks, the recipes, what's been topping, what future sets, yada yada yada, and of course the leaks. And since this is a weekly basis, we're always going to have about 5, maybe more, depending on stream, leaks. So, with that said, let's go right into leaks. And I said leaks more than enough times, don't you think?
You just need to start carrying them leak like Hatsune Miku now.
I actually have one that lights up.
Oh my god, we gotta bring it for leaks!
Next time.
Yes.
On V-Time. Anyway, okay, so to start us off with leaks, I need to pull this stuff up. So I'm not going to go with the most recent one. I'm going to attempt to go with the first one that came around Sunday night or Monday, technically.
That one? Yeah.
No, it was these two. Yeah, it was these two, I believe. So, come here. Anyway, we have some Angel Feather leaks to start us off. So we have Rare Impetus Celestial Armarty.
Armades.
Whatever.
Pretty sure that's all it said.
Yes, what he said. Okay, so he's the grade 2. He has a Vanguard Rearguard skill that goes when placed from hand, cost Soul Blast 1. Call a card from your damage zone to Rearguard and put the top card of your deck into your damage zone face down.
Great way of getting 3 rear guards.
Yeah, basically keeping your hand, keeping your resources, getting stuff fueled out, and because it's Angel Feather, you can literally play with your damage zone and put anything you want in there and it pops on the field. Doesn't gain power though, and doesn't give power, so I'm just curious to see how you can combo out for the other Angel Feather cards.
And a good thing to note, because at this time I'd say most of all the high rarity stuff for Angel Feather is pretty much out. There is only 2, I think? Yeah. 2 cards that actually puts things into your damage zone face up.
Oh, we'll get to that, I think. And I think there's only one. I might be wrong, but I think there's only one.
The Metatron and then the future leak card, I think the next one, is the only cards that actually put a damage zone face up.
Metatron the grade 3?
Yes.
That's technically a rescue check. Doesn't put anything.
It still comes in face up.
Well, yeah, but it's not. You don't choose. It's literally just literally like a damage check or a drive check.
Yeah, but a lot of these cards count face up, and it really matters.
Potato. But as he was saying, the card that got leaked with it is I can't read. You read.
Give it here. Underlay Celestial Hestial.
There you go. Yeah, I'm a foreigner. I didn't do English that well. Or as well. Whatever. Basically, the grade 1 that came in. And a fun part we were talking previous episode was we'll wait to see if Angel Feather gets a card that puts stuff from your hand into the damage zone to kind of abuse the protect markers. Well, they did get a card, but Bushy was smart. Bushy was very smart about that and didn't want to give Angel Feather that in standard. Well, with premium we already got no seal, so we don't need to worry about that. But for standard, this card can put your cards from your hand in your damage zone, but the way it's worded prevents it from protect markers because the effect goes when placed from hand, cost Counterblast 1, replace a unit card from your hand with a card from your damage zone. And then in parentheses put it face up. So that literally prevents you from going, hey, look at this protect marker, put it here. Oh no, it cannot exist. I heal. Yep. Well, at least in standard. Premium, like I said, we got no seal grade 2, no seal grade 1, no seal grade 0. To abuse that protect marker bullshit and, just heal out of nothing.
And I don't know if they may try to limit this more in the future to make it to where it's not as abusable, or maybe down the road just give all the restraints off of it. But it does show that Bushiroad does know and that they do care.
Yep. On to the next leak, and that's Neonectar now. So we got a Neonectar Grade 1 that just got leaked. It's a double rare, I believe. And it's Dandelion Musketeer Mirka. I hate butchering names. But anyway, her ability is Vanguard Rearguard. When placed, cost Soul Blast 1, call a plant token to Rearguard in the same column as this unit. Now plant tokens are of course 5,000 power, 1 critical, grade 0, half boost. They're tokens. And then it also has the other skill of when your Rearguard, when your other Rearguard is placed in the same column as this unit gets power 3,000 till the end of the turn. So it's an 8k base with the ability to call a token behind itself, and it gains power when something's placed in the same column. So basically off of its own effect, you can make a column that's worth 16k. Now, because this is a force clan, there's most likely a force marker somewhere, so assuming and no other powers from other cards apply, this is a 26 column right off the bat, just by calling and soul blasting. Thoughts?
Pretty decent card. I don't think it deserves the rarity slot it's in. But I guess they see that anything that makes a token deserves a pretty high rarity.
I mean, look at it this way. If you use Cecilia and you see this on the top, you can go, oh, cool. Pull it down, Soul Blast 1, get another token. And if you use Cecilia to your maximum effect, you almost get a full field out of it.
And yeah, I mean, it's still a good card. I just maybe see it as a rare, not a, what was it, triple, double rare?
Double rare.
Yeah, I mean
that's
just me personally.
The way the way Neonectar has been showing leaks and the way it's going to be working is you're more than likely just going to be making resources on field out of card effects and just keeping your hand for protection.
And as of right now, out of all the stuff we've seen, there's no finisher inside of Neonectar, so it's just going to be a bunch of beat sticks, kind of how Spikes is. Maybe they'll show a rare grade 3 that you can tech in as a good way to threat. But
speaking of rare grade 3s, spoilers, we'll get to that.
But unlike Angel Feather,
like I said, spoilers, boy.
They need a threat.
Now, speaking of Angel Feathers, they got another leak. It's a grade 2 common, so it's not that special of an effect, but it's this thing, and effect is Rearguard. When it hits a Vanguard, cost Soul Blast 1, put a card from your damage zone into your hand, and put the top card of your deck into your damage zone face down. Now it's another one of those take the top card, put it into your damage zone face down type of deals. Basically, it's all in all technicality a counterblast, but because Angel Feather plays with their damage zone, it's not considered a counterblast. Again, potato.
But this does give Angel Feather something it has yet to see yet. Draw power.
True. The only downside to this I see is 1, Soul Blast, 2, it has to hit a Vanguard.
Yeah, and if you think about it, putting the card face down pretty much means this is a counterblast Soul Blast to a draw.
Yeah. And it's on hit pressure too. I mean, if for a common, it's not bad. It's not the greatest. But I wouldn't mind, maybe playing it.
There's probably better cards.
Now see, now that I read this effect, I'm starting to realize something. Since Angel Feathers have I think it's a grade 1 that's on plays, do something. I don't know exactly the card, but it basically takes a card from your drop zone and puts it into your soul. And I can see why they have it, because most of the costs here include soul blasting, just because when you're manipulating the damage zone, you're more than likely putting a card from your deck face down into a damage zone, which is considered a counterblast. So they really can't say counterblast, because then it would be almost like a counterblast too.
True.
So a lot of soul blasting, which means you're going to have to resource manage that soul to do your effects.
And you're also your counterblast, because I think there is some cards in this deck that do counterblast.
Oh yeah.
And everything going face down means that you're gonna go real quickly see your face up damage go away.
Oh yeah. Now, with that guy being said, we're going. Next one we got up is again an Angel Feather, so a lot of Angel Feather this week. And I'm just gonna double check to see if I didn't miss anything. But this guy kind of pushed Angel Feather into an area where, they're a threat. There will be a threat. We knew they were gonna be a threat, but with this card, they're a bigger threat.
Angel Feather had no way of finishing games until now.
Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to this. So basically, what got leaked is Mobile Hospital Feather Palace. Yeah, Palace. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's a grade 3 with a protect marker symbol, which means if you ride it, it will gain the protect. And it has a Vanguard rear guard, which is very important skill. When it attacks, cost Soul Blast 2 grade 3. Turn all cards in your damage zone face down. Until the end of the battle, this unit gets power 20,000, critical +1, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels from his or her hand to guard circle.
Mm-hmm.
Who does this remind me of?
So, say you somehow magically hit 2 of the VR and this guy into your damage zone. You already have a grade 3 Vanguard and you ride Metatron. Call this guy out, technically heal it, rescue check, okay, and then bring the other VRs out. Okay, now you have 2. You have at least the number of grade 3s in Soul Blast them for his cost, and you get multiple protect markers. Oh, and look, this is what, a 32 double critical and you can't Sentinel, so it's essentially Antline on a stick without the discard.
Better than Antline. Antline only gains plus 10,000. This is better than Antline.
Yeah.
And with the Angel Feather, like I said, the previous card, the card that puts from drop zone to soul, you can pretty much guarantee next turn having it again.
So, looking at this trend for Protect, I'm pretty sure not every one of them does, but I'm pretty sure 90% of every Protect clan does. They have a grade 3, grade 3, that pretty much says you can't guard with a Sentinel, or just can't guard with something. You have, let's see, what was it? There's a Grand Blue guy that says you, depending on the cards, they can't guard with those grades. So technically, they can't perfect guard if they have it.
And of course, everybody knows about Antline.
Antline, this guy. You also have D-Meteor, which says no Sentinels.
And technically, it doesn't say no Sentinels, but the Elk for OTT is, I think, on the same level as this, just because it stacks the crit triggers on top of your deck and gives powers to columns. It makes big columns and almost guarantees that something is hitting double critical or more.
So far, Elk is the only one that doesn't follow this trend, but if this is a trend that Bushiroad is doing for Protect clans, that means Nubatama possibly might have a Sentinel Guard restrict.
See, I want to segue now because technically we just finished leaks because there has not been anything else leaked for this week. But now I want to talk about Nubatama a little bit. Just speculate what they might do, what they might get, what they might, happen. Because what was, you being a veteran, what was Nubatama's old mechanic? Pre-dominate, pre the whole Shiranui phase.
It was a super tempo discard deck.
So it was a discard deck. You made your opponent discard, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So let me get this straight. If Nubatama gets the same ability of discarding, and it's a protect clan, which means they can save themselves from most attacks, and if it follows the same trend as all protect clans and gains stupid numbers for no apparent reason, and double criticals here and there, and does this and does that, while at the same time discarding your opponent's hand.
Yeah.
Ow? Ouch? Like, ow?
Yeah, it's more than likely going to happen because if they go outside of Dominate, their key mechanic was discard.
Like, I'm sorry, just the idea of discarding to an Excel player like me is literally, well, I guess I'll die.
And it's funny because technically Excel's supposed to be protect, and it's going to be protect.
I mean, in the most likelihood, we can rush them down. But our hand is already, like I said, unless you're playing Tachis and kind of playing them in a way you can replenish your hand, both Aqua Force, Nova Grappler, Murakumo to extent what I've seen, even Pale Moon, your hand size is not that big.
Yeah,
and you have the discard next to it, it's like, well, at least I have my rear guards. Oh, they're targeting them. Well, at least I have my Vanguard. Oh, wait.
I'm pretty sure here in a little bit when I just say this that I'm probably going to affect the marketplace thing in this. But first thing I want to say is just think about this. You're a protect clan. Not only are you gaining advantage because all these protect clans always have some form of hand advantage, but you're taking away your opponent's hand advantage. So eventually you're going to get to a point to where your opponent can't guard and then say they have a finisher like that. But on top of that, think of all that and now slap a dominate G-Zone on top of it. Let that sink in. I'm going to just keep eating your hand away and then I'm going to dominate the rest of it away.
See, Premium's going to get a little broken. Just because all the dominate cards, they do not need Shiranui as the heart. Hell, if you can somehow manage, hey, I got these rear guards that don't need any specific keywords or units that can, they got released in standard that can make you ditch cards. Hey, what if I ride this guy that says, hey, keep just 4 cards in your hand and bind the rest of them. And then I use those rear guards to ditch that hand of yours. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen.
Oh, by the way, while I'm going to keep doing this to you, I'm going to keep building up protect markers into my hand.
I love speculating about something that hasn't been leaked one bit and then fearing the most of it.
Yep. So speaking of this set, me and Nectar, of course, back in the day did not have any type of clan identity. It was all about, okay, I'm going to get multiple clones out of my deck, multiple clones, which kind of is similar to Murakumo back in the day.
So what they do? They made tokens.
So they gave it a bit of clan identity with tokens. The reason I say that is because Murakami back in the day had no clan identity. It was essentially a Kagura, another form of Kagura. It was retire, retire, retire.
I mean, you can think about Tachis and Shadows in the same mold. Like, Shadows and Tachis just, hey, retire my stuff, I'm going to do shit. But Shadow's more of a sense of just gaining power and retiring a little bit, while Tachi's just focusing on retire, 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 retire. And what it do, give them gauge so they have that extra of an identity.
And you could say that it can give them attack in the front row. But that was more of a Vermilion thing than an overall Murakami or Brawler thing, sorry. Vermilion and Brawler thing than an overall Murakami thing. Murakami originally, when it first came out, was all about like, retire. And Teutonics Drill, since it's going to be the main card of that set, means that it's really going to be forced toward that retire. And I'm thinking that don't count my word for it. Murakami might get its own mechanic in this set.
You mean like tokens or gauge?
Yeah, something to differentiate themselves against other clans.
Well, you can always think about Murakami. Now I know this is G-era, but couldn't their identity be binding?
It could be, but then again, that was also Gear Chronicles.
Well, yeah, but Gear Chronicle technically bound itself in timely. Gear Chronicle, okay, no. Let me retry it. Gear Chronicle does not have an identity. It jumps. First it was put cards to the bottom of the deck. Then it was timely. Then it was bind this and do this. And then it was just, hey, let me get my Zodiac Time Beast in my bind zone and do stuff. No. Gear Chronicle does not count for this. Gear Chronicle is getting what it deserves with the standard release, and that is literally just keep on striding, but without a G-Zone. Let's just do it from the deck.
But wouldn't it be cool, since, they try to get it closer to other TCGs, the tokens, wouldn't it be cool if, Vanguard had its own way of doing counters?
Boy!
What if Murakami got counters and punished your opponent for counters?
Well, you just have a... Like, what? Huh?
It's speculation.
Hey, I'm Murakami. I'm doing counters, just so you know. You do your thing with tokens and whatever. I'm just doing counters. I did this, counter 1 up. I did this, counter 2 up. I did this, counter 3 up. Hey, this effect. If my counter is this number, then it does this and this and this. I can see that as a mechanic. I don't see it happening though. Like, if you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
I can see it being a mechanic that makes sense and can work. I don't see it happening though, or at least this is gonna be very bad to say. I don't see Bushy coming up with it.
Well, I mean, it may not be that, but it could be something along that lines of some kind of mechanic that other TCGs have that Bushiroad decides, hey, why don't we make Murakami do this? That way it stands out, and then other TCGs can, kind of relate to it.
So that'd be interesting, just because that'd be technically an introduction of, we see clan mechanic being introduced almost in a trial deck then. Because Murakami is getting its own trial deck.
But it would drive incentive. Other than just say, hey, here's another retire deck.
True.
Because then you're going to be like, well, do I want a Force Cogger, a Force retire deck, or do I want an Excel retire deck?
Oh yeah, Murakami is Excel, aren't they?
Uh-huh.
So that's going to be then interesting, because that means multi-attack, that means front triggers. If it has dear lord, if it has retire power.
I mean, it's going to have retire power. There's going to be some effects. Even if it gets another its own mechanic, there's still going to be retire power just because Murakami still has a form of retire all throughout this clan.
Oh yeah, true. Very, very true. I was just saying, from a Tachikaze's standpoint, retire does come in handy when you're in Excel clan. It's because, managing your opponent while still getting multi-attack, oh, that's nice.
And what else was he looking in there? Oh yeah, more Ezel, more Royals.
I love how he's so focused on Murakami, his old baby, and he completely forgot about the other sets. Like, yes, we have in the same set that Murakami and Nubatama are coming out. We're getting Royal Paladin, which means more Aichi. We're going Gold Paladin, which means, I guess, more Ezel support, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, no. It is Ezel. Prepare yourself for Raven-haired Ezel.
Oh, shit.
Because that was in the manga.
Well, either way, it's Gold Paladin. And I want to see what they add to the already existing Ezel that goes, hey, I'm a grade 3 while you're a grade 1. Ha 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 ha. Oh, you gotta also look at the other side of the spectrum from the same set. You also gotta look from the other side of the spectrum. And it is Ezel. Oh, you're a grade 1? Well, let me get to grade 3. I'm gonna attack. Cool, I'm gonna take those attacks. Is it my turn? Hey, look at this thing that you put in my damage zone. I'm gonna ride it from damage zone. And I'm also a grade 3, by the way, now.
Oh, on two notes, though. One, we have still yet to see the triple rare grade 3 Garmor.
You say there's a triple rare grade 3 Garmor.
Oh, there's more than likely going to be a triple rare.
Well, if I go to the site
More than
and
likely.
I scroll down, let's see here.
Never mind then.
Yeah, all the triple rare spots are filled, good sir. We're not getting a Garmor.
High school
triple
club. Garmor.
See, we got a double rare grade 3. If we get another double rare grade 3 Gold Paladin that's open technically, because there is an open slot right there, I can see it be Garmor, but that means it can also be a grade 2. It can also be a grade 1.
It's probably going to be a grade 2 or 1. So, yeah. High school club. Expect Garmor.
Now, okay, I think let's finish up High School Club and then I'm going to come back to this, but for the High School Club, I forgot to mention one more clan that's going to be in there, and that's OTT. And the reason both of us are not excited for that, and we're not saying we think OTT is bad or we hate OTT. Like we said in the previous episode, if you like OTT and that's your clan, build it. Build it to your heart's extent. We are just going to be terrified of OTT just because it's stopping currently. It is one of the most played decks in all tournaments. It is a consistent, brutal crit sacking mechanic. It's a protect clan, and it's getting support in the form of a trial deck and a booster.
I just feel so bad for people who are like, man, I really like Tachi, or I really like Spikes, or I really like Aquas.
Yeah, you're not going to see them for a year. So.
And then you're not going to see it for a whole nother year. But then you have the deck that's topping everywhere in Standard. And you're like, here's another trial deck and a booster before all of them get it.
Yep. And speaking of the OTT trial deck that's around Misaki, we are reading it here. We are guaranteed, or they're guaranteed, to get hexagonal megas in there, rectangular megas, Cure Megas, I think it's called. So a lot of Megas cards into just the trial deck. And if you recall, what was Megas most known for?
Looking at the top card of your deck and stacking it.
Very much. So add that to OTT.
And she already has just more of it.
Yeah, we're gonna see a Brule deck soon.
Yeah. OTT is probably still going to dominate the meta up until maybe the AL4 return.
You never know. Link Joker might just come out of
there's
left field.
Or, maybe Nubatama will be the threat for him. This card may be it.
True, or just the second wave of support for the Royal Paladin and Gold Paladin.
True.
I want to open this topic now. Second wave of support. It's all fine and dandy right now how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Just because every clan or all the clans that got the support and that got their cards got their first initial, base. They literally just formed a base.
Mm-hmm.
Like OTT got their what they do, looking top cards, drawing cards, and apparently crit hacking. Royal Paladins got their calling and utilizing and being generic. Like legitimately, Royal Paladin is mostly the most generic deck there is.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do a little bit of everything, but they don't almost have their own identity.
Yeah.
Kagro retire and focus on Vanguard. Their identity. Like every clan got their own identity and a base. The question is, what are we gonna see with the second wave of support? Are they gonna print VRs that support or can work with the already existing VRs, or are they gonna be something completely different? And then you have an option of, I want to play this old VR that does this stuff, or I want to play this new VR that does this stuff. But if I mix the two, my mechanics and play styles are gonna be way off, and the deck is not gonna work.
I think it's going to be a combination of the two. Just because Royals have to support Blaster Blade, so it's going to have to work with older stuff. But not all of it has to. OTT, not all of it has to work with the older stuff. You can just do newer stuff. But I think probably the biggest thing that's going to come with Wave 2 support, me personally I think, is a lot of stuff's going to work with the type of marker. For instance, if you're Royals and you place a rear guard on a force marker, this unit gets an ability if it's on a force marker, etc., with all this. I think that's what the second wave is going to push more towards.
I can see that. Honestly, we won't know until, let's see here. So I'm not counting the Sequalia set because we're only technically getting 4 new cards, and they're the VRs of grade 4s. Mm-hmm. So you really can't say they're going to replace some of the grade 3s because without the grade 3s, you can't get to grade 4.
Mm-hmm.
So they've just added bonuses and you change the ratios. So I can't count Sequalia, but let's see here. You got the ultimate rare that's introducing 3 clans. Then you got, and the first set that's actually going to introduce that second wave of support is the Answer of Truth. So we're going to see what Royal Paladin can do with their second wave, what Gold Paladin can do with their second wave, and OTT can do with the second wave. And Murakami and Nubatama get introduced. So that'll be interesting. And after that, we get our second support or second wave of
Team AL4.
I think.
It should be.
Yes, but it's not on the site yet. They haven't leaked any art for it, but we know for a fact that Team AL4 and technically also Link Joker are getting a trial deck, and Team AL4 is coming back with a booster, adding Link Joker to it. So that'll be interesting. We'll see what Shadow Paladins can do with their second wave, Dark Irregulars, Murakumo, and Pale Moon. So that'll be very interesting. Just the idea of Murakumo getting a second grade 3 VR that can do something almost either better or on the same level as Zanbaku is kind of scary.
I'm just thinking of we're going to Dark Irregulars and even Shadows having another card that can be on the level of their VRs alongside them.
Like for Shadows, I can tell you almost right away, if they do get another VR that's on the same level, let's say like Phantom Blaster, Dark Theater is going to either get down to 0 or just 1 or 2 in deck. Like it's a good card, but wherever it comes out, it's probably going to be better.
And the biggest thing with Dark Irregulars is no Life King Death Anchor is great. But once you use a skill, you're like, well, I just want to use another one because why would I go into something else? I get more power. But maybe they're going to get a VR that's going to be like, yeah, I want to ride this on top of it. Like, I'm just imagining like where it's going to go because, I mean, unless it's a Mon, there's no telling where it's going to go.
Pretty much. And then, of course, Link Joker. Oh, I can't wait for Link Joker. At this point, I don't care if it's Star Vader. I don't care if it's some sort of new Link Joker. If it's a leader. If for some reason they decide to skip all those and go straight to Messiah. I hope that's it. But either way, my clan's going to be back.
So, interesting because we skipped the set.
What's that?
Was it Listener Awakening Truth?
No, we got the Ultra Rare Miracle Collection. That's the next one in Japan, and then we're gonna get around December 14th. Then it's the Answer of Truth, the 5 clans.
No, that's the high school one. Answer of Truth is
Gears,
Great Nature.
Nice! I did skip one. Whoops!
It's all right. There's more time to talk about it.
Oh yeah. Well, what this set is another one that I was talking about. Just introducing clans in their base. Like we're gonna see Great Nature for the first time. We're gonna see Gear Chronicle for the first time, and Genesis for the first time in Standard. Now that other than Gear Chronicle, we really don't know what Great Nature or Genesis are gonna do.
Well, I mean, Gear Chronicle and Genesis is pretty generic. This is gonna be they're both Force clans, so.
Well, yeah, but Gear Chronicle, we already know from the Grade 3 League that it's going to be a Stride type with Strides technically in your deck. With Genesis, the thing they did in G era is just build up the Soul Blast 3, do things. And in the way before, in your era, old man, they did the same thing, right? Just Soul Charge, Soul Blast 3, and do effects.
And then they got a bunch of effects when they're Soul Blasted.
Yeah. So they might just do the same thing or change it up. The only thing I honestly see here, though, is I can see Great Nature getting their own thing. Like a new mechanic or something to boost their identity.
I don't think so. I think Great Nature is going to be the interesting one just because it's an Excel clan. And Great Nature being Excel with the numbers that they can get is going to be pretty interesting.
See, that's the problem, though. Are they going to do the same thing they did? Like, okay, what was Great Nature back in the day?
I'm going to give a bunch of +4 to the things, and then they're going to die at the end of that turn. I'm going to draw a bunch of cards.
Back in the day as well? So they just continued the G era, the same thing?
Just gave them success. That's all they did.
See, that's then dangerous. That's really, really dangerous.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If they keep this up, they're basically... No, actually, no, they're not dangerous because that's almost a carbon copy of Tachikaze then.
I mean... The way you play it, yes. I mean, but the thing is, though, is they don't have to retire. You have something to retire them. Most of their effects retires things in general, anyways.
Yeah, but it's still retire, power, and multi-attack.
Oh, yeah.
And draw, yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
I mean, we're almost here with the Ultra Miracle. Like, it comes out in Japan... October 19th. That's literally next week, the release when we get AO4. So once that gets leaked, it's time for the Answer of Truth. So we're going to start seeing Great Nature leaks, Genesis leaks, Gear Chronicle leaks.
And we've kind of already seen it. They leaked a couple of cards one card for Genesis and one card for Great Nature. They were commons.
They did?
Yeah, they were commons, but...
Since when?
Back a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my god, they actually did. Okay, well, pulling it up. I guess we have more technically leaks that I missed. Whoops, sorry. Here is Witch of Cats coming. Or I probably butchered it. Please help.
Yeah, he said it right.
Coming?
Yep. Like the spice coming.
Oh, okay. PG-13. Okay, so her ability is when placed. Okay, sorry. Auto rear guard. When placed, counterblast 1, rest this unit. Return one of your stand rear guards to your hand, or put a card from your drop zone into your soul. Oh. Wait a minute. I might have been saying something completely wrong. I thought this was an Angel Feather card.
Boy.
So all those things I said about Angel Feather having something that puts some jobs on their soul, yeah, never mind, forget about that.
Yeah, manage your soul blast.
Whoops.
But yeah, so again, it goes back to like them building up soul and fin soul blasting and getting effects.
So another Dark Irregular clan.
Yeah, kind of, but they're really focused on the soul blast more than likely.
Well, okay, so that was a Genesis Grey one, and that was a rare that got leaked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's the Great Nature Grey one that got leaked, and it's a common. Nothing special. Silver Wolf. That's all. That's it. And its only ability is if this is in the back row, this unit gets plus 4,000 power.
So it comes with a 12k booster.
Yeah. Which for Excel. I mean, since it has to be in the back row, it's probably boosting something.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's boosting a 9k, that's a 21k attacker. If it's boosting a 12k, that's a 24k attacker. So you get to those magic numbers.
Yeah,
So we're going to see what else comes out with it. But other than that, it's just a 12k booster. You can see why it's a common.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're already here, I'm going to pull up the big guy, the VR that we already know that we're getting. Or actually, technically, we don't know if it's a VR.
It is VR.
It doesn't say, good sir.
It's on the cover. It's more than likely VR.
More than likely VR. Interdimensional Dragon Knight Lost Legend. I wonder how they're going to integrate this into the anime or story or whatever.
Probably just have some random person using it.
Well, maybe it's Chrono's dad.
Anything is possible at this point.
Pretty much. Anyways, this is the card that kind of shows Gear Chronicles' identity already. So its ability is Act Vanguard Cost. Choose one or more cards with the sum of their grades being 3 or greater from your hand and discard them. Oh, why does that sound familiar? Anyway, search your deck for up to 1 grade 4 card, write it as stand, shuffle your deck, and at the end of the turn, retire that unit and write a grade 3 card from your soul as rest. It also has a second ability of when wrote upon, cost Counterblast to draw a card. Now, this card, like I said, shows kind of the identity Gear Chronicle wants to be. It's bringing back Stride, but in a different way, just because in Standard we do not have a G-Zone anymore. So how they fixed it is saying, just do the Stride cost and pull the grade 4 out of your deck and write it. Now, if we assume just because of, let's see here, Novell and Escapade, that grade 4s will also have the Force marker, that's pretty much going ride, Force, use the skill, re-ride with the grade 4, and Force again.
And then at the end of turn,
yeah, because you're rewriting the grade 3 from Soul, and most likely it's this guy. Hey, look, Force again. So 3 Force at the end of the turn, 2 4s during the turn. Not bad for a Force clan.
Which means when you come back to your next turn, just rewrite another grade 3. And hey, look, already 4 Force markers while your opponent has only 1 marker.
Pretty much. Now its second skill, I'm honestly not that big of a fan of, just because if they don't introduce some sort of form of counter charge, or they go counter blast easy on the other cards, I don't see anybody ever using that skill unless really in a pinch. Because yes, drawing a card is nice. Counter blast 2, in my opinion, is way too big of a cost without some sort of engine to maintain it.
I like it only because it didn't have to be there. It literally could have just been the first effect and that's it. But they did add a draw just in case you do have to minus multiple cards out of your hand.
Pretty much. Like, in a way, it sort of replaces the card you ditched for Stride. Let's call this Stride, even though it doesn't say Stride, but let's call this Stride. Or if you had to ditch multiple, like you said, like a grade 2 and a grade 2 and a grade 2 and a 1, or worst case scenario, and this has happened to some of us multiple times, especially Hector, having to ditch 3 grade 1s. Ouch. This kind of does replace it and give your hand back to what it was. But again, unless they introduce some sort of countercharge engine inside Gear Chronicle, or they go really counterblast easy on all the other units, I don't see this effect being used as much. just because I play some clans that have counter charge, and I play some clans that don't have any counter charge, and I can tell you how important that is.
That pretty much sums up all the leaks.
From this set, at least.
Yeah.
So Ultra Miracle,
So
Awakening Truth, Pathing, this thing.
turn team.
Oh, okay. So this is the only thing I wanted to say last for the Ultra Rare Miracle Collection. So, like I said, next week the set comes out completely, which means we're at the end of the rope of what we've seen, what came out. So going through the list of all the cards that came out, we see that most of the high rarity cards, all the VRs are out, all the triple rares are out, and the only thing missing is a double rare gold paladin.
And couple of the rares.
Couple, like one, I think it's either going to be an Angel Feather rare or most likely a gold paladin rare.
I think it's going to be a gold grade 3.
It might be either a gold grade 3 or another Angel Feather card, just because golds are also missing 2 more grade 1/grade 2s. And then Neo Nectar is missing some rare, and then you got a lot of commons, and which most commons we already know are going to be the triggers and the starters and plus and such. So the set's almost completely out. And then after that set, we're going to start seeing the Gear Chronicle Genesis and Great Nature stuff, which will be fun.
Yep.
Which I think I'm the only one building anything out of that. Like, I'm building gears.
Jeff might be making Genesis.
He's still in a little bit of a rough patch, yeah. So I don't know by then.
I mean, by the time that set even comes out here,
True.
he might be in a better situation. Not sure at all.
We'll see. You'll see these episodes and we'll keep you up to date.
If Jeff was to make any clan, it probably would be Genesis, just because Genesis was his main clan for a long time back in Legion format. He played Regalia forever.
Oh, yeah. Which reminds me now, speaking of Jeff and speaking of the sets, I will go about the challenge, yes I say challenge, of building Angel Feather.
Yes.
Yes, I kind of want to see what they can do. Ever since I saw that grade 3, I was like, well, this should be interesting, so I'm going to build them.
Unless you're... I mean, if you haven't gotten rid of your whole playset yet, you still have Gize to play it.
No, Gize is in Slovenia with Marco.
Oh, well.
He's going to also probably build Angel Feather, because he's attempting to build a master set. For everybody who doesn't know what a master set is, that is literally owning 4 copies of every single card that has been printed for that clan. And when I say every single card, I literally mean you have 4 triple rare Gabriel Edens, let's say, and you also have 4 SP Gabriel Edens. Yes, every single card that has been printed. 4 copies of Master Set. Yeah, I'm never putting it
Go for it, buddy. We believe in you.
You got support. But yes, I'm going to be building angels. I'm going to attempt to soothe the beast again. I tried once in the past with Giera. They didn't like me. So basically how it's going to go is, if I like the deck and the deck likes me, I'm going to keep it and play it. If I like the deck but the deck hates me, I most likely will be going to Jeff. We'll make an arrangement. If I hate the deck but the deck for some reason works with me and likes me and it works, I'm still gonna get rid of it just because I don't feel like playing something I don't like. And then of course the fourth possibility of, I don't like the deck, it don't like me, go away. So it's a win-win for everybody in our group.
So what's next?
Intermission! Woo! We're back. Yes, we're very cheesy. Get used to it. So those are the sets. Those are the stuff. You got anything more you want to say?
We probably won't have one of these next week. If we do, it'll not be after the case opening. But
Wait, what? Why not?
oh, I mean, it'll probably be after the case opening.
Well, yeah, we're gonna do the case opening, and then the next day we're gonna do this.
Okay.
Yeah, we're crazy. Anyway,
Expect a lot of videos in the next week or so.
Pretty much. So yeah, what's next is after this episode, most likely you're gonna be seeing some deck profiles. We also have some gameplay. We have a gameplay between Mega Colony and what did you use? Oh yeah, Kaguro. Spoiler warning, that it went very horribly. I did mistakes.
Mistakes were made on both ends.
Whoops. But either way, you're gonna be seeing the gameplay between Mega Colony and Kaguro. We're gonna be also releasing deck profiles for Royal Paladin, Tachikaze, and Mega Colony as well. We're gonna try to get a Kaguro deck profile and also Nova Grapple deck profile soon. But by the time that gets out, by the time we release those, it's gonna be the 19th of February, the release of AL4, and us opening a case with our good friends John Madison. And be ready to see that video. And after that video, hey, episode 3 of V-Time.
Yep. And then hopefully shortly after, some deck profiles of those decks and some gameplay.
Oh yeah. Expect to see gameplay with him playing a lot of Dark Irregular and me just throwing anything I have, especially my Murakumos at it. And also, we're also going to try to get John the Madison so we can also showcase your Pale Moon and Shadow Bounders for you guys. But no promises there right away.
And definitely see a lot of Murakumo.
That's like, I don't know what to call Murakumo. It was like, I want to build Dark Irregulars. I want to build Dark Irregulars too. Should we both build them? Sure. Well, we need to get in a case opening. What should we do? Okay, you take Dark Irregulars, I'll just do Murakumo and buy them separately later. What happened? Yeah, forget about Dark Irregulars. I'm just gonna build Murakumo and be fine with it.
He's gonna be the anti-meta deck.
Hi, OTT. Let's have some fun.
The anti-meta hero.
Anyway, yeah, that's in the next episode. Also in the next episode, by then time, I'll be doing some research. I'll give you guys some numbers regarding tournaments around the US, tournaments around Asia, tournaments around Europe, and talk to you about a little bit what has been topping before AL4 and what kind of percentages are we seeing of decks being played, just to give you a little bit more numbers and perspective on how the meta looks and what it might change with AL4.
So with that, we are going to say that is a wrap for today.
Oh, yep. I've been Philip.
And this is Alex.
And we'll see you in the next one. Woo!
Goodbye.
Oh, dear Lord, my body hates me. Did you just... Boy!